Hi, Lydia.
Hi, Supraja.
I saw that postcard and the quote that you gave, Lydia. It was really nice. I really liked it. Really liked the postcard.
Thank you.
Can you tell me what does that quote mean to you? What does that uncertainty look like in your life?
I think for me, I've definitely not liked when things are uncertain. And I always thought that, it was something that was like a weakness because I was confused. And because of that, I kind of failed to acknowledge the whole fact of it being a new path that could discover something in me. So, there was a time when I decided, that I had to stay back and continue
Mm-hmm.
and pursue my education away
Okay.
from my home, away from being with my parents. And my parents had to move back to Bangalore, that is my native. So
Okay.
I had to like a little, battle out in my own mind and feel like, how am I going to manage stuff? It definitely brought in a lot of fear, a lot of doubts. I was
Okay.
never used to living on my own
Mm-hmm.
because I've always had my parents around to help me
Right.
out in whatever scenario would be. But this was
Mm-hmm.
something new, and this was something I felt like I wouldn't be able to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of doubt. There was a lot of fear. The path was definitely not clear. I was like, okay, what if
Right.
I mess up? What if I
Mm-hmm.
botch up? So, finding a place to stay, figuring out finances, and,
Mm-hmm.
you're on your own, like you're literally on your own. And that's like the most
Mm-hmm.
scary part, that I had to face.
Right.
So there was a time even I felt like giving up, but I think that was that was more like a push for me to get out of my comfort zone, for me to do things on my own, be a little independent. Not little, but I think, yeah, a lot more independent than I used to be. So that was something that I felt like kind of pushed me towards the edge, made me look towards uncertainty. But eventually, I think it brought out a lot of good things. I learned a lot
Right.
about myself. I
Mm-hmm.
learned things that I could do, things that I could explore on my own, and getting into a lot of good things like different competitions in college, getting into a team where I could play, um, you know exploring different places on your own. And I think it just brought out the best in me. Not necessarily it had to be mean something that goes downhill, but yeah, for me it
Mm-hmm.
definitely went uphill, and it was a good experience.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the fear is kind of very real, right? It's so, it's there and it's scary. So, what was that fear for you, and what helped you move on, even though it was real? Like, the road is there, and you can't really see where the road is, leading to. And I'm sure
Right.
that's how you felt too. So, what was that fear for you, and how did you keep going? You know.
I think for me the fear was, what if I mess up? Like, what if I'm
Right.
not able to do it? I didn't have much self confidence. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have, or I didn't think that I was capable enough to figure out things that I could do on my own. But I think that was a challenge that I took. That why do I need to be dependent on my parents, or why do I need, help? So more like I wanted to feel that I could do things, build up my self confidence, build up my self esteem. And I took it as a challenge for myself. I mean, nobody had to tell me that, okay, Lydia, why don't you do this? But for me, I felt like, okay, this is a chance. I cannot turn back. I cannot go back and be a crybaby, go back to my family and say that, okay, I'm going to be under your shelter forever. But yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
was more like an opportunity for me to explore and do the things that I wanted to do on my
Mm-hmm.
own. And I was responsible for my own decisions. So that kind of brought in a sense of responsibility that whatever I do here on is going to be me. I'm not going to
Right.
blame it on anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I took it as, and I felt like if it's now, or else it's never.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, what I hear is that, it was an opportunity, that you saw it as an opportunity and you had to take responsibility. That's something that, kept you going, even though it was scary and the fear was real. right? So I'm sure we all are feeling uncertain, especially at this point of time. So what will be that one thing that you would like to share with anybody who's feeling uncertain at this point of time? Yeah.
I think, I mean, one thing that I would say is it's very easy to feel weak, very easy to feel helpless at this particular time because nothing is in your hand. You feel like, there's nothing you can do. And honestly, there's seriously nothing you can do than just sit at home and wait for the lockdown to end. But I think it's just that how we don't see what we can do with the time that we have or with the space that we have right now, and we kind of focus on the negatives. We kind of focus on things that are not happening, then focus on things that can happen, which can probably feel like, give you a feeling where you might say that, I mean, for example, for me, I would feel like when this lockdown is going to end and when I could go out, but rather make
Sure.
this time to connect on, on different online things, to meet with my friends. Why only go out and meet with them or connect with them, or try cooking, different hobbies of yours that you always wanted to, provided you have the time. And now when you do, I think it's definitely going to make sure that you are sane in your mind and you're not going crazy. So I would say just wait for it. Don't think that it's a weakness or you're helpless, but we definitely miss out a lot of opportunities when we focus on the negatives. There's always a brighter side, and I think, I mean, it's better to focus on what is good enough, what is positive enough, noble enough for us
Yeah.
to think, than the other
Yeah.
odds. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the postcard. Thank you so much for the story behind it and the quote that you gave us. Thank you so much, Lydia.
Thank you.